This is Pont d'Avignon, outside Palais des Papes, in Avignon, France. France was the second part of our family's trip to Europe. Let's take a look at what else we did in the town of Avignon and the rest of this beautiful country. Day 5. Well, folks,
in France.
we're almost in France. Bye, Spain. We had adios, Spain. We had lots of fun. Hasta luego.
Let's see Barcelona in the video.
After leaving Montmelon and crossing into France, we soon found ourselves surrounded by huge French mountains. Although mountain driving takes longer and makes certain members of the family carsick, the views we saw made it all worth it.
I almost puked on the stuff that was trying to make me not puke.
So here we are in our first authentic French town. We are in France. The first meal we ate in France was at, McDonald's. We continued driving towards the city of Narbonne, where we planned to meet Christophe, a man interested in learning about Mennonites, who had connected with our Uncle Steve via Menodiscuss only days earlier. It worked perfectly into our schedule to meet with him, so we agreed. We had a bit of time to kill in between lunch and our 7:30 rendezvous in Narbonne, so we stopped at a fruit stand and a deserted beach on the way. We still got to Narbonne earlier than 7:30 and decided to wait on park benches along a peaceful canal. After a few minutes, a man approached Kara and me, asking about the purpose of the white thing on the ladies' heads. At first we thought he was Christophe, but his name was actually Yael. Christophe came a few minutes later to find us talking to Yael. There was a little bit of confusion as Christophe didn't know Yael and neither did Yael know Christophe, and Christophe thought that Yael was part of our family, and Yael thought that we already knew Christophe, but after a while we got it all sorted out. Long story short, we got a great little free tour of Narbonne from two Frenchmen who didn't even know each other, and neither of them was even from Narbonne. It was great.
Where is the route? It's a Roman route. 2,000 years ago. So means the city 2,000 years ago, the city was down here.
They come by horse and cars.
After the tour, Yael left and Christophe joined us for supper at the Buffalo Grill, where we talked late into the night. After leaving the restaurant at 11:30, we still had an hour and a half to drive to the city of Nimes, where we had booked our hotel. The hotel was painfully difficult to find due to its location in the old city of Nimes, but after a half hour of dead ends, one-way streets, and resisting the urge to throw the GPS out the window, we finally arrived, close to 2 o'clock a.m. We went to bed immediately. Day 6. We slept in due to the late night prior, and had breakfast at the Empire Hotel, where raw bacon was served. Afterwards, we walked through a garden and around a Roman Colosseum, both located in Nimes. Behind me here we have a Roman Colosseum, not the one in Rome, the one in Nimes. We made a family decision and we're deciding that we're just going to walk around this one and we're going to go inside the one in Rome. Got a nice view from a tower here at the Colosseum, and didn't want to pay to go outside, so we just looked at the postcards instead. Then we drove to Avignon, France, and found parking near Palais des Papes, or Palace of the Popes. This palace, built in the 13th century, was the residence of 9 different popes from the year 1305 to 1429. After a light lunch of large sandwiches, we entered the palace armed with audio guides, ready to learn. The tour was long and hot, but also very interesting. We got a bird's eye view of the city of Avignon from one of the towers. Kara, however, openly admitted that she was looking for the sortie exit for most of the tour. After the palace, we walked on Pont Saint-Bénézet, also known as Pont d'Avignon, a famous bridge built in the 12th century. After seeing the bridge, we drove to our hotel in Aix-en-Provence, which we cleverly dubbed Aches and Pains. The Novotel at which we stayed had a swimming pool, which made everyone happy, especially Kara. Also, at this hotel, I got to Skype my wonderful fiancée Jasmine, and that made the fact that she wasn't long on this trip just a little more bearable. Day 7. After another breakfast at the hotel, we drove to the Verdon Gorge. After hiking up to a beautiful church known as Notre Dame de Beauvoir, we had a little worship service of our own. Then it was back to the trusty Volkswagen. We continued to drive towards Italy through the Verdon Gorge. The roads were very hilly and curvy, and it got a bit mountainous. Thankfully, we had jokes and holding our breath in tunnels to help get us through.
Oh, you guys.
We decided to drive through the city of Monte Carlo, located in the tiny country of Monaco, just to see what it was like. It was full of hotels, casinos, and nice cars and boats. Then we headed towards Italy. We had pizza at one last French restaurant before crossing the border into Italy and sang our last au revoirs to France. Let's take a look at the top 3 highlights of France. Number 3. Our tour of Palais des Papes. Probably the thing that impressed me the most of the Palace of the Popes was the size of the place. Not just the size, but it seemed like there was just room after room, and each room was different, and each room was significant to that part of history. We had these audio guides that were telling us the purpose of each room, what happened in each room, and there's some really great descriptions. Number 2. The beautiful scenery of France.
The scenery in France was just gorgeous. It seemed like every time we came up to a new area, there was some more beautiful mountains and greenery, and the water was really pretty color too, turquoise.
And number 1, our surprise guided tour of the town of Narbonne.
The neat thing about the surprise tour of Narbonne was that we got a tour by 2 local Frenchmen. The one guy in particular really knew a lot about local history in the area. And we got to hop down into a hole and walk on an original Roman road that went through the town, and it was just a really neat personal guided experience.